Let's box.
Thank you for the subscription. I should check to see how my mic is. I'll try my. Probably need to move my mic a little bit closer. There we go. That, I think, is actually probably in the good. There we got that. I will actually be right back and then we can start. Alrighty, now that I've gotten that situated, I should be able to start. So, hello and welcome to a Friday edition of Retro Inc. Rhapsody. So, originally I had planned for us to be doing a Hazeltown story recording session tonight, but due to some scheduling conflicts, that actually will not be happening. Yeah. People's schedules, just, life to happen, so kind of had to move that along. So today, what we're doing is, instead of that, we're just going to open some boxes. Because it's something easy that I can do that isn't that hard to set up. So, let's go ahead and open those boxes. Let me go ahead and, let's just go ahead and go. Alright, so, here's our boxes as are. We've opened up a lot of them, but there are still plenty to open up. I'm going to do kind of box pulls a little bit differently than how I've normally been doing it. Because what I have been doing is basically just having chat just kind of just blurt out a request, and I'll just kind of get to it. However, I kind of remembered that Twitch actually has a queue system if you are going to, if you are going to do redemptions, it actually gives you a queue that you can actually say, oh, I did that, so we can just move ahead. So what I actually did is I actually just made a Twitch points redemption thing that is pick a box from the mystery boxes. And what you can do there, as I see that Max already put that in, basically you can, put your request there.
Ready? Good luck.
Thank you for the raid. Put your request there, and I will go ahead and see that in the queue, and I have a nice little list. Okay, it goes... I was actually curious, so it goes top to bottom. So yeah, I got the queue, and I can actually see it. This is probably... It's not exactly as it's probably going to be, but that's what I just kind of rigged up real quick. You might have to refresh the page if you're not seeing it. So, Let me crack open my Pepsi. All right.
We're going to Pepsi now.
Yep. Well, it's a Diet Pepsi.
Nah.
But yeah. So yeah, I see things in the queue. So right off the bat, start with Max and Chachi, who got a 20A. So let's see, 20A. Let's see, I haven't ranked that. 20A. So, start off with something pretty simple. So let's see, what do we got? We got The Little Mermaid. So this was a game that I actually played a little bit. Like, I think back during ranking of shmups I did that, because I was thinking that this might actually technically count as a shmup. Although it doesn't quite, so the fact that it's a Little Mermaid game was kind of weird about that. So I kind of forget that I need to change how my OBS preview thing, so you're actually seeing something different. Also, I think you're seeing the wrong screen, because we're going to do this. Yeah, we're going to do this. So, The Little Mermaid. Okay, so let me go ahead and do this. And this. That's not where, I don't even know where that went. That's whole. Also, I don't know how late I'm going to be doing. I'm probably just going to do 3 hours because I do have a marathon tomorrow. So that's what we're going to do. So let's load this up. So, hopefully, as you can hear, that is in fact the Little Mermaid. So, except now, I'm going to have to do it like this. Okay, so yes, The Little Mermaid for the NES, because this actually came out, what, I think this was 89? But yeah, The Little Mermaid for the NES. This is one of the many Capcom Disney games.
91.
Is it really 91? I thought it was 80.
1991?
Hmm.
Based on the 89 film.
Oh, the film was 89. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
It was on the NES and the Game Boy.
I hate the fact that I can't think of this movie without that stupid Neil Cicigera comic. 8 legs, 7 vaginas. Or excuse me, 7 vaginas.
Isn't that just the princess from Drawn Together?
Yeah. That is
Vagina is just a hentai monster.
That is that's not a good color for her top. I know it's the NES and you have limited colors, but seriously.
Boob cups. Boob cups! The ending of this should be like the ending to the NES Jaws game, where you have to ram the ship into her.
Yeah.
Already they're fucking up the story. I hate this.
Yeah. Okay, so you have free movement, as you'd imagine, as you're a mermaid. Is this actually a boost, or...? Yeah, you have a little speed boost, and you have this thing.
Magic dust. Wait a minute, those are the fucking seashells from Jaws!
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I'm like, God, looks exact.
No, that's the exact sprite, dude!
Which is great, because that's a completely different game. Also... Oh, there we go. I knew you could... It's just like a... Yeah.
Now, I played this many years ago.
Actually,
like a decade or so ago. Oh,
here, let me...
What happened?
I am looking... I was doing some audio balancing real quick.
Sounds good. But I played this a number of years ago. I remember it being fairly decent
for
a licensed game.
Yeah, this game is, like, actually not that bad. Because, like, the Disney Capcom stuff tended to be pretty good. The only, like, the lone exception, I think, to that was probably Tailspin. Because that was not a great shmup.
Now, I would not classify this as a shmup.
Yeah, I forgot what I did to play this, or when I played this, but it was a while ago.
I can't believe they.
Oh, right.
Wait, when did Jaws come out?
That was like 87, I think, or 80. It was early.
Jaws NES was in fact 87. So yeah, they ripped the fucking sprite from Jaws. What the fuck? That's fantastic.
Is this thing? Nope, that's not gonna work.
Like, I'm not opening the chest.
Because I forget that I can. I think it's just scenery. This just reminds me of Biomiracle Bokete Opa, which is, or at least, the way that this boss fight works. Can I aim it down? Nope, I can't. It's right, if he's positioned there, I just can't do anything about it. Also, I don't think I've ever actually seen Little Mermaid, the movie.
Huh. Okay. It's an odd film to not see, but alright.
Yeah. Because this was like... Because I was technically alive when this movie came out, but I would have been less than 1 year old. The first... And I think the first movie that I remember watching in theaters was The Lion King, so... Yeah, because if this was 89, I was born in 88.
Well, it's more than technically. You're a year old.
Yeah, but it's also in that period where you could put anything in front of me, I would not have cared.
I guess.
Oh, do I have to...
When I hear technically alive, I think, like, fetus.
Nope,
like,
That's
the point.
I was born.
We're very much born.
Let's see, 23A, I don't think 23A was... Oh, 23, no, it has not been taken yet.
Do you have that in a place that can be looked at?
Yeah.
Or is that totally... Is that on the R3 dot...
Oh, wait,
the box.
Oh, the boxes? No.
Yeah, do you have the boxes somewhere people can look at them?
I don't, because I couldn't figure a way to do it. I mean, I could figure a way, I just hadn't done it yet, of being unable, like, you can't snoop the formula.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't think Google Sheets lets you do that.
Nope.
Actually.
You could do some weird... It's very finicky.
Yeah. It's not as versatile as Excel, as much as I hate Excel.
Yeah.
Do you use Outlook at your
yes.
Place of... Okay, let me ask you a question. Does your Outlook ever just hang? Just
yes.
stop working? Okay, so it's not just me. Outlook just fucking sucks.
No,
okay.
The Microsoft Office platform sucks. God, the delay on the bubble is really weird. Or I guess you can't just... Can you not?
I don't think that enemy can be
okay.
bubbled. Some enemies can be bubbled, others cannot. Push that barrel down the stairs.
Alright, yeah, can I? It's weird because it's like drawn into different colors, so it's like, oh, it's something I can work with, but I can't.
Maybe use your boost on it?
Well, let's try. Can I... Oh, I bet you that's a power thing. Which if I was opening more chests, I could do stuff with.
Mm-hmm.
Note to self. Actually...
Now, Outlook is, like, essential for my job, and it frequently breaks and, like, hitches, and it pisses me off every time.
Yep.
Because I've only got 8 hours in a day to get a lot of shit done.
What? Oh, do I need the seashell to open that?
Maybe.
I don't need to, like, hold both, and it's not select. Yeah, I wonder if I need, like, the shell to open that up.
Well, luckily...
The internet exists.
It does. I can look it up and see. Gameplay. You can dig through sand to find treasure, and pick up seashells to break chests open.
Okay, that explains that then.
Apparently there's a digging mechanic. Doing? I think that's a power.
There we go. Yep, that looks... Can I go backwards?
See, I can't
Nope.
look at this and not think about that episode of Futurama with the mermaids.
You know, that's like, I think, one of the few episodes of Futurama I actually have seen.
Why couldn't she be the other kind of mermaid with the fish part on top and the lady part on the bottom?
Okay, how the hell am I supposed to... There we go.
There's only one episode of Futurama I refuse to watch, and everybody knows which one it is. Because it's the saddest episode of any television show ever.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Jurassic Park, the one with the dog.
Oh.
Which one were you thinking?
I don't, like, because I don't watch a lot of Futurama, so a lot of it is just, like...
Try digging in the sand.
Okay.
It's apparently a thing.
Ah, here we
you
go.
can do. Aha! There we go.
There we go, and then...
There's an episode of Futurama called Jurassic Park. I think it's in season 4. Fry goes to an excavation site where they pick up a dog.
Yes, I've heard about this, and it turns out to be his old dog.
It was this old dog, Seymour. So the crux of the episode is Fry's trying to revive Seymour so he can have his dog back. But when they aged the dog using the technology, it turns out he died at the age of 15. So Fry assumes he lived a long and happy life. The ending scene is set to the saddest fucking music since Sarah McLachlan, and it shows the dog waiting for Fry, and he dies in front of the pizza shop waiting for Fry.
Huh.
It's terrible. It's sad. They got hate mail for it because it's so sad. I can't watch it without crying like a child. Now, Futurama has some really, like, heart-wrenching episodes and some really good, you know, like, serious moments, like Layla's parents, Bender's origins, what happens to Fry's brother. They were good at mixing up the drama and the comedy in Futurama. I think Futurama overall is better than every season of Simpsons after 9.
I just never got into the show, to be honest. It's not like it's not like I dislike it. It's just I never like got into it.
No, that's fair. It's not fair. It's like nobody really liked Disenchanted, and I actually enjoyed it a lot.
Ice is
They also
slippery.
did.
Oh, I was just
did
saying
more-
this ice is slippery.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Okay.
So I wonder if you're gonna have a lot of.
Whoops.
Oh, that sucks. That's.
Wait,
you gotta leap for that.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah, they're not fucking around with this stage.
Wait. Okay, what's the... Okay, there we go. Is there just nothing in that one, I guess?
Guess so.
I think this game seems alright, but... Yeah, it
It's
just...
better than you think it would be.
Yeah. Okay, do I keep... Okay, so I just have 2 power here.
Yeah, to like Disenchanted, you really have to, like, think outside of Simpsons and Futurama, because it's extremely different from the two.
Let's see.
Yeah, that ending was sweet. I thought the series finale, meanwhile, was very good. Very touching.
A Futurama.
Yeah, because Futurama technically has 4 series finales. Because it got canceled multiple times, and they also made a couple episodes with the expectation that they might get canceled. The one Max mentions actually was one of the series finales. Another was one where Hubert, the clone of Hubert Farnsworth, actually overclocks Bender, which causes a bunch of legal problems with Mom Court. That was also considered a series finale.
Huh.
And then there was the first technical series finale at the end of Into the Wild Green Yonder. The 4th movie was the series finale, and then there's the actual series finale, season 7. Meanwhile, they know things about stuff that don't matter. But it's funny because Futurama's hacked up to pieces on Netflix, so it's like 10 seasons long instead of 7.
Right.
No, Coolio, I actually read up on it. It was considered a series finale at the time. It was written in such a way that it would have counted as a series finale, because it ends with Fry and Leela reading their future from Bender's printout, and it ends on like a positive note. So it could have counted as a series finale.
Was Futurama one of those shows that came back and actually was much worse?
No, actually, it wasn't as good, but it didn't Family Guy.
Okay, it didn't Family Guy, didn't Arrested Development.
No. The final seasons of Futurama are still fairly solid. They're not quite as good. There's a bit of like the jokes don't come quite as well in some of the episodes, but it still manages to get a few good ones in. Family Guy was okay at the time.
The first 2 seasons are alright.
I would have said the first 3, but it doesn't matter.
It's usually the first. It's the pre-cancellation.
Yeah, once it got canceled on Fox and then came back, it sucked.
Yeah. Alright, I think that's good for this, because I think we're gonna get the gist of this one.
Yeah, it's an okay game.
Yeah.
It's not Futurama, but it's okay.
Oh, let's see. Mark. And now I can mark that as complete.
Oh, right, Max is right. So there's just real quick, there was an episode where they switch brains, and to solve how to get everybody's brains back in the right body, they literally had to come up with a new mathematical formula.
Huh.
That's my last Futurama thing, so let's rank it.
Yep. Alright, so I think it's not like... It's one of those games like, oh, that was nice, but nothing really remarkable about it. So I'm thinking kind of in the 9-10 range.
Yeah. It's a solid game. Its mechanics work. It looks pretty good. It sounds pretty good. Plays all right. And for a licensed game, it honestly doesn't suck, so it clears a pretty low bar.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking...
I'd say 9.
Yeah, I'm thinking 9.
Alessa agrees.
Wait, actually, Rhapsody brings up a good point. Did we actually... Okay, we did rank Chippendale. Okay.
What do we rank it at?
11.
Really?
That game kind of gets not great towards the end. That is a incredibly good co-op game, though.
Okay.
But yeah, I think this is a 9. The Little Mermaid. It's episode 389. That came out in 1991 by Capcom. It was an NES game. Oops, that is not what needs to go there. Is an action game. It is based on a license. God, I hate that Lion King game so much.
I don't think anybody actually likes that game.
Yep. I think the art's pretty good, but I think that's kind of it.
That's fine.
I can't really think of any ordinary.
Gameplay's kind of not good because it's a little inconsistent.
Yeah, also, I like the kind of ideas it was going for, but it didn't really do anything else.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be. You don't have to add everything to everything.
Oh, cool. If you were asking if 23A was taken, you just took it. Because I have you in here twice.
Coolio trying to double dip.
I will
That's when
reject.
you get germs.
Well, the good thing is I can reject it, so I can just say, "Hey, you get your money back." All right, that's that.
I think they actually proved that double dipping doesn't spread germs.
No, it doesn't. At least I think it did. Oh well.
I think it was Mythbusters did that.
Yes, it was definitely Mythbusters. All right, so next up we got Tyrion at 11B, which is Let's Be Creative. Oh, which one's this? This one won't be long. All right. Tiny Toon Adventures Cartoon Workshop.
All right. More painting, I assume.
This is an NES game. It is not a painting program per se. It is a... Well, it says what it says. It's a cartoon workshop. But...
Oh, is it... I think it... Is it going to be like you're editing clips together?
Kind of.
Okay.
We'll see when it loads. So this is actually brought to us out by Konami. Tune.
Back when they made games. Am I right, Lolo?
Well, I guess you probably should. That's right. Nova Trade did this one. Which Nova Trade? God, that's.
It sounds like a dentist thing.
Nova Trade did some stuff. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Let me look. Novo Trade. Appaloosa Interactive.
Oh, it's Appaloosa. Oh God, that's Echo the Dolphin in those stupid Contra games.
Let's see. Adventures of Batman and Robin for the Game Gear. An Amiga Castlevania game.
Yeah, they ported the first Castlevania to Amiga.
They did all the Echo games. Contra Legacy of War.
Yep, which is the PlayStation 1 one.
Garfield Caught in the Act.
Yep, that one actually wasn't that bad.
No shit, they did Jaws Unleashed. I actually kind of like that, unironically.
Yeah, they did some okay games, but let's see. What?
Oh no, is it that one? Yes, they did the first-person South Park game.
Yep. Okay,
Oh,
so...
man.
Okay, if I'm trying to remember how this works. So I think you pick a character. Let's see. So let's see. We got... Also, I like that Furball's the first choice. So, let's see. Furball... Let's do Buster, because, you know... also, we can set our scene. Do we want... Let's see, we got... I think that's Acme University, a village, castle, just color. Let's just do
Blue and
Acme.
pink for Buster and Babs.
Wait, what was that?
The first two colors were blue and pink for Buster and Babs.
Yeah, that is not pink.
Yeah, that's a peach.
Erase.
I guess technically is a pink, but still.
That is not a pink. And line blue. I like the options are erase and oops.
Looks more orange than pink, though.
Looks like you got a couple of animations.
Look, Coolio, I didn't make Tiny Toons.
Whoop. What? The acceleration on this is severe.
Hmm.
Let's put you there. Set motion. Okay.
I like the cancel is oops.
Okay. Select words.
Just my... Oh, it's luck, okay.
Don't you hate it when that... Alright.
Alright.
That was the entirety of it.
All right, so that number 2, I assume is you can put in like Babs doing the hula hoop thing, and then it continues past the words.
So that is what this thing is for. I believe if you... I think... Oh, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, you can select what frame that happens on, and we just set it to happen on 1.
Ah, okay.
This is not good.
World Karate Championship.
Yeah, that is international karate.
They did the Commodore 64 and PC MS-DOS ports of the Simpsons arcade game.
Sounds about right.
It seems to be all like the notables.
Happy?
I get what this is going for, but it just doesn't like. It's super limited.
Yeah. It's also, this is not the medium that you want to do this.
Nah. Kind of curious to see if anybody's actually like done something.
I'm sure someone has. That being said, I don't think I'd want to do something like this, because this just kind of... I don't know what the point of this is. No words. Oh, can you not, like... Can you not make a
full
custom?
motion on this.
Can you not make your own custom thing? Did they just... Oh, I guess you can't. You can't make your own custom phrases, I don't think. Which, I guess they didn't want people making things where the tunes make swear words, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's only 2 actors. That's what it is. Okay.
Mm.
Second half.
I'm looking at a video of this, and somebody's actually done like full-on like motion with the background moving and everything.
Yeah, I think you can, like... I think the scene moves, like, if you pick a scene that's not just color.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try this.
There's a run animation, too.
Yeah, so it's... If I pick... walk. Because then you can do... Yeah, because there's, like... Oh, you set their velocity. That's interesting.
No gravity, though?
Well, I'd imagine it's just a straight line.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it's going to say, hey, here's that. And then they walk up to here, pause it. Let's see if I say, hey, go to this frame here.
Oh, it looked like he was in the air, but that whole thing is a sheet of ice going up to the bedrock.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's still Buster.
I was
And
reading
then at
this
this point, he eats a carrot. There. Okay, so let's try this, see what this looks like.
I can stop running that.
Okay, so you can set that to happen, and they're gonna have multiple actors. Okay. Like, it's neat, but also to what end?
Yeah.
Like, especially since you can't, like... If you could make your own dialogue, I feel like that would be a lot better, but... You
Yeah,
can't.
but they don't want Buster saying fuck.
Yeah.
It's a lot like...
That actually reminds me, there is a thing in the show. This is why I really want to do Tiny Toon Adventures for Media Adult at one point because
Uh-huh.
one of my favorite things in um uh Tiny Toon Adventures, there is a one of the episodes where they do a lot of music stuff. They do the name game. Uh, and the thing is, they have apparently at the end of the credits of each episode, they have a little joke at the end, like for the credits. And then one of them was uh, due to the way that I forgot exactly what the phrasing was, but basically you can't do plucky, you couldn't do. I think it was plucky, you can't do, and there was like a list of names that basically would end up being uh, rude if you did it in the name game.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I there's not a whole lot to see of this outside of us just sitting here and making one, which
There are a number of game programs like this from this era, and they're all interesting ideas, but they fall under the weight of the restrictions of each system they're on, even
yep,
PC ones.
yep. Okay. I wonder if these props are unique to each thing.
Mm.
But yeah. Yeah, Mitch was another one. But yes, I think that's enough of a look at Tiny Toon Adventures Cartoon Workshop. So, um, I don't think it. So I'm not going to put in like the 20s because I don't feel like that's fair because what it was trying to do, I feel it did like fairly well. Like it did okay, given the limitations. That being said, I don't think what it was doing is really that interesting.
Okay, so this one, I would argue, doesn't fall under the traditional numbering. I think this is
Yeah,
one of the three.
yeah, I'm thinking 420.
Let me open up the thing, because that would help. That's not metrics. It's, where the hell is it?
It
Thank
is.
God, there we are.
Yep.
So you said 420?
Yeah, I'm thinking 420
Yeah.
because it's what you make out of it. It's not necessarily a
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Especially since we've all put stuff like Kid Pics and like Total Distortion in there, which again are
Yeah.
things that you make what you want out of it.
Total Distortion is a lot closer to this.
Yeah, I think that I was going to say that this. I think Tiny Toon Adventures was a better game than Total Distortion, but I actually don't know if that's true.
Well, Total Distortion was like a couple of different game ideas mashed in together. You had the creation side of it, and then you had like I guess there was the game in there too. It wasn't very good.
I forgot to check what the year was, but I think it's 93. Actually, no, Novo Trade.
I've looked it up a number of times. Let me see.
It's just I don't feel like
92.
it's 92.
92.
Okay.
What were you saying?
I just feel like it's not. I feel like Total Distortion, the tools they give you are pretty limited, but you can make something goofy out of it. Also, you have to do the game to get the stuff out of it, which I don't care for. I don't know if I'd give. I think this is just kind of blank.
Yeah, it doesn't stand out in any particular way.
Yeah. So
Maybe a light bulb for the gameplay.
yeah, that would definitely. I'd definitely agree. So yeah, there is a Tiny Toon Adventures Cartoon Workshop. So before I pull the next thing, I will actually be right back.
I still have 60,000 points to use. Talk, spit, get hits? What the fuck is that? That's right. Make Lolo speaking questions. I'm purposefully reading position change in the wrong context and laughing about it. I think he upped the points on Hydrate. I'm talking out loud because silence is awkward and weird. How are you all doing? Did you have a good week? I did not have a good week. I'm very stressed out. I'm taking a couple days off next week. But hopefully you all have had a good week and are going to have a good weekend, which is the ending to the week. Boiling, that is no good.
There, I have completed my drink, so there I've hydrated as well.
You never told me which sandwich you made, motherfucker.
I said it, it's just I said it while embarrassing. It was a chicken wrap that had spinach, tomato, cucumber, cheddar cheese, and mustard on it.
A wrap is not a sandwich. You lied to me.
Well, I didn't want to get into the semantics while Bear was doing stuff.
Also, you didn't make me one like I asked. That's very hurtful.
I have enough for myself. That's about it, though.
Who this is talk spit get hit is the Moist Talker's current slogan. So explain that.
So what that one is if you do it, I might have something prepared for that.
How much does that again?
It's I think one of the more expensive ones.
50K now. I got 60K. I want to really like squeeze it.
Yeah. Anyway, now that I've done that, so there is Tyrion's 20 or 11B. Ax, you said 2C.
Yep.
All right, what do we got in 2C, which is pretty darn good.
Max probably still has 200,000 points left to go.
Okay, I will do that once I have the thing.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah. So the thing is that when you then again you're a subscriber as well, but yes, Max has been pretty.
I spend points
yes
towards them like a weird internet dragon.
So this one's a weird game. This is not an NES game. We're actually leaving that. This actually the thing that this came from, we've seen something from this game before when we actually did R-Type Delta. Because in Japan, the name of this game is Mr. Heli no Daiboken. Which, definitely is a Japanese name. But yeah, it stars a Mr. Heli. So this is a IREM arcade game. That is a shmup, and I gotta remember what... Because it's an arcade game, I gotta remember what the stupid name of it in MAME is. Because it can't be simple. Oh, where are you? You know, I'm just gonna do this. Battle Chopper MAME. Okay, you are B Chopper. Okay. This should work. There we go. So.
Yep.
Oop. So yeah, this is a interesting shmup. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, this is IREM's because it seemed like every company had a cute 'em up, or like a cute version of a shmup. And this is IREM's take, which normally their shmups are very grody, actually, especially if you're like stuff like R-Type and X Multiply. They didn't really do cute that often. This is one of their exceptions. So yes. Let us put some coins in and see Battle Chopper.
Little baby chopper.
And yes, that's also another good point, is the fact that now the queue can actually extend over multiple streams.
So you can pick right up where you left off.
Yep.
Alright, so right away, you obviously get a front shot, an upper shot, and a lower shot. You don't have to unlock them.
So it's weird. So you have your normal shot just when you're in the air, and you have your upper shot. You have them all times. You will always have those shots. The thing is, to get the other one, much like Fantasy Zone, your missile, when you're on the ground, becomes a bomb. And much like Fantasy Zone, this game has currency, which you can use to buy stuff. So this is very much a Fantasy Zone, except the shops are kind of on screen. Okay, I need 300 for those. And yeah, your money is hidden in basically it's in the blocks. One thing that also another thing that I do kind of find annoying is this has ratchet scrolling. So if you progress the screen enough, you cannot go back.
Is that what it's called?
That's what I normally hear it as.
You get a fish for 200. That's a deal.
Except I want to save for other things is the problem. Okay, also I want to... Okay. Also, this is... One thing I really dislike about this game is the fact that it lacks auto-fire.
Don't pass up that big crystal.
Yep. I just gotta do that, and there, now I have 500.
Sweet.
Actually, there we go.
Shame you can't go back and get that fish. Though.
Yeah.
I bet his name was Carl.
Also, another thing about the big, or the crystals is that you can actually shoot them, and which will break them apart, which means you technically don't get as much money out of it. So you gotta be a little careful with your shots, but then again... There we go, this is nice. Let's see, what's
Kind of twee for a shmup.
Yeah, it's part of the cute 'em up genre, so... Which is very much a set of twee. Like, twee is kind of the genre's main style.
I really like that word, twee.
It's a good word.
It's like squeegee. It's just really fun to say.
You know, this does look very Amiga now that you say that.
I had to look twice because of all those E's. I was like, wait a minute. Oh, it's okay.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, these dudes that shoot the missiles are really annoying because those missiles will kill you in one hit. Despite other things not doing so. Oh, actually, I think this is a good power-up. Yes. This is a very good power-up.
Ooh, homing missiles.
So this game does kind of have... Oh, right, these things. Shoot them and they drop crystals.
I think that was a secret. We'll never know that.
Oh.
Oh, I don't like this.
Yeah, except it only lasts for that one screen just to say, hey, you're in the dark area, and then once you do that, it opens up.
Oh, alright.
There, now I have 5 homing missiles. Damn it. Yeah, I just, like, I kind of am surprised that this game doesn't get more recognition, because this game's actually pretty cool. Especially as shmups go, because this kind of, when people, or like, when people talk about IREM shmups, it's usually, it's obviously R-type, it is occasionally things like Gallop, but also, Oh yeah, I guess we're at the boss. But occasionally you get things like X multiply. But this one normally doesn't show up that often, which is a shame. But I do like the fact that it shows up in or Mr. Helly shows up in R-Type Delta. Or not R-Type Delta, R-Type Final. Oop.
Ooh, get that. Ah, it broke.
Also, I believe that the only home port of this was to the PC Engine, because I don't think this came out over here, like in the home port. Which is also probably why it's not as super popular. Oops.
Apparently, it's available on the Wii U.
Yes, I believe the PC Engine version got released in Virtual Console.
So apparently, its full title was Mr. Helly no Daiboken.
Yep, which is Mr. Helly's Big Adventure, if I remember correctly. There, we got the fish, which is actually just a screen clear, which actually is nice.
Good fish.
But
so
also,
it was ported to Commodore 64,
oh,
Amiga,
I didn't realize it got a Commodore 64 port.
Amstrad CPC, ZX Spectrum,
Yep.
and Atari ST, as
So-
well as PCM.
It's all the... So, I didn't realize this got the European microcomputer thing. I just thought this was Japanese only. Oops.
Its first appearance in the States was the Wii U Virtual Console
Huh.
on February 1st, 2018.
I guess this was just one... I wonder if this was European... This arcade game was... Or this arcade release was European only. There we go.
Apparently, in January 1988, it was the 5th most successful table arcade unit.
Huh.
I like this. Ace Magazine reviewed the PC Engine version, rating it 890 out of 1,000.
That's... Yes, that is a bit much.
Ridiculous rankings.
That sounds like someone like a magazine in the 90s would be like, we want to show how like extreme we are by doing that.
Yeah.
One thing that I find kind of curious about the design in this is the fact that there's no speed up power up, as far as I can tell.
Do you need one?
Not necessarily, but it does feel a little weird. Because your movement speed is just slightly slower than what you'd kind of hope. Also, I think we might do like a level or two more of this, because actually, one problem with this game is the fact that you can't, since you can't auto-fire, it is actually making my hands a little sore.
I mean, you don't have to play anymore.
Well, I want to play a little bit more, because I do actually find this game enjoyable, but at some point I am going to have to stop this.
Yeah. This crap again? Okay.
Yeah. So the flow is basically, you start with a kind of a normal stage, and then you get a underground stage, so to speak.
Gotcha. No, it's more you don't have to play outside of your comfort level.
Oh, yeah.
Not that you need to be told, but still.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. But yeah, also I think we kind of get the point of this. Like, this game, I don't know how long this game actually is. I can guarantee you that it's probably going to get a little nastier later on. But the gist of what this game's about, we've kind of already seen.
Apparently, Mr. Helly appeared in Chiyaku Sentai Rem Fighter on the Game Boy.
Okay.
Ninja Spirit.
Oh, it appears in Ninja Spirit, okay.
And Hammer and Harry.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's seen on a billboard in the final stage of Vigilante.
That sounds about right.
And was a playable ship in R-Type.
Yep. Which reminds me, I that's a lot of... There's actually a few of those games that I haven't played yet, which I'm kind of surprised I haven't.
Gotta put them in that category then.
Yeah.
Can't believe I haven't ranked it yet.
Vigilante, I can see that I haven't ranked that, but also Ninja Spirit, I feel, is a game that I probably should take a look at some point.
It sounds familiar.
That was also another game that I know mostly because it is an arcade game that I know mostly from the TurboGrafx port.
Looks like Legend of Kage.
It does. It's very much a style of, like, say something like Ninja Gaiden or... Oh, what is this? Wait. Was that just a... Huh. Okay, that was interesting. Alright, I think that's a good enough look at Battle Chopper, aka Mr. Heli no Daiboken. So. That's a fun game. So. Let me boost that up a little bit. So I think that game's really good. Like, I really like that game. Now, will I put it super high? Probably not. But I'm going to start at 6 and see if anything looks similar. You got stuff like, especially I'm going to compare to Xanac, or compared to Shmups. You got Xanac, you got Zezex, you got Puyon, the Toho games, Gyrus. This feels kind of the same category as a lot of these other games. Burning Force, Donkey Kong 3. It is a fun little game, but also has some slight problems with it. And yeah, another thing about that it's not exactly super notable is the fact that you don't really have mercy invincibility in that game. So it's really easy to just take a couple hits and then just die. Which is kind of annoying, but yeah. That being said, let's see, if I look at 5. Speedrun. I feel like these ones at 5, I feel, are just a better... Like, I feel like these games are just better. Stuff like Musho West. King of Blood. Yeah, I feel like those... I feel like 6 is probably the ceiling. But looking at 7... There's Clover. Saturday Night... Wait. Oops. Section Z. Yeah, I feel like 6 is a good spot because the shmups that are in 7, I feel Battle Chopper are probably better than most of them, and the ones that I feel like it's not as good as the ones that are in 5. So, therefore, I think 6 is probably a good spot for it. It is a neat little game that I wish got more love. You know, I'm gonna put the Japanese name because I like the Japanese name a little bit better. Daiboken. Oh, I forgot to check what the year was. I think it was 88. If I had to guess.
It was in Japan 87.
Oh, 87. Okay. That game is cute, so I'm gonna do that. 1987. Let's see if I'm gonna do charms. Let's see, we got... The music was alright. I do like the charm of it. I do like the fact that you have like your little helicopter as your main character. Also, any time where you have a shmup where when you land on the ground, that you get little feats. Also, that's another thing that I wish more games did. More shmups did, specifically. No collision damage with the scenery. You can ram into the walls all you want and you won't die. Which is nice. Other than that, I don't think anything else really stands out. Also, I will give the light bulb to it. So I think what it's doing, like, I think the ideas it has for it are pretty good. The problem is I don't feel like the execution's 100% there. So, yeah. Okay. So, there's that. So, with that, let us return to the boxes. So, let's see, who do we got next? There's yours. Nolden wants 21B, which that one is cutest level devil. And also, I'm going to go ahead and get the emulator for this up because I'm going to need... I hope this will actually work. Wait, I think this one is... Yeah, I have to do it like this. Okay. So, 21B. Splattermaster. I believe this was a request. I forgot from who, though. Let me make sure that, yes, that is right. And I think I have to do this. So this, as you can hear in the background, this is a PlayStation 2 game. Now, here's the thing, though. I gotta get this. Oops, I went to the wrong one. That's not the right one. That's the right one. Also, so here, Splatter Master. Yes, Nolden. Okay, Nolden requested that. Also, I forgot to do something, which was once I get this game on screen. I think it's this one. There we go. So, there we go. There is talk hit gets. Oh, good. My mouse is going to be there. All right. So this was a European only release that. Yeah, I guess that this is region free because it has modes for both NTSC and PAL. So yeah, we're gonna do that. So let's see this. So this is by D3 Publisher, which, if you're not familiar with their work, EDF is basically their work.
EDF! EDF!
EDF and I think stuff like Onichambara, I think is also them.
That's unfortunate. Let me see.
But yes. I know dick about this game, so I'm going into this blind. I'm going to set this on easy.
It is D3.
Okay, also black color red. That. Yeah, so this, okay, so yes, I was about to say that this looks like it's a simple 250 game, or 2500 game, which, yes, I guess that's what this was, because D3 loved to do those. Jagad, I guess, is the villain.
It's your boy, Jagad!
Alright. I guess we are in the top left. And yeah, this is a belt action game. Okay, so there's that. Do not like the large feet. Okay.
That's your blaze ball here.
Yes.
Okay.
No. Okay.
Hello.
Okay, let's see. Do I have a block or anything? Nope, I just have punch and kick, or jump and punch. At least I think. Oh, I see.
So this was published by D3, but it was developed by Vint et Un Systems.
Huh.
I'll post the name. I know I butchered the shit out of it.
Huh.
505 published the European release. D3 did the Japanese release for the PlayStation 2.
Yep. Oops.
Oh, its Japanese title is Simple 2000 Series Volume 64, The Splatter Action.
Yep, that sounds about right. I kind of want to do an episode at one point, which I keep on forgetting. So the problem is I keep on forgetting I wanted this episode until it's way too late after I've already said that, or already, like, thought of stuff to do. Which is just to go through the simple, like, probably to start with the simple 1500, which is for the PlayStation 1.
Okay.
Because those games can be kind of interesting because the games that were in there weren't, like, you'd imagine, like, a thing like that to be games that weren't that particularly good. Just because the entire line, so the point of the line, the reason why it's called the simple number is the fact that that number is the amount of yen it would cost to buy the game.
Ah.
So it was like, so this game was like $20 when it came out in Japan.
Okay.
That concept did actually come out over here. It wasn't called that same thing. H-Tech was the company that brought those games out, and I believe a lot of the games in their line were also simple 1500 games. Or 1500 games. So this... But yeah, it's a lot of neat things. Onichimbara was a game that started out in that lineage. Earth Defense Force was a game that started out in that lineage. But you got stuff like the Sniper is a one that I know got some got some notoriety. There were some arcade ports that were also, I believe, in there. The companies that were involved in it, because it was like a lot of the games were made by like a small handful of companies. I know Success was one of them, which Success is the company that makes. They made the Cotton games, but also they are now the owners of Umihara Kawase. And yeah, it's just I find that concept interesting. Okay, this looks like. Oops. This. This is one of these bosses where it's, basically it's like, oh, we're just not going to allow you to hit. So yeah, this game seems alright. This is a good song. That's a good enemy.
Yeah, I rather like this.
Also, I noticed that I am getting gold. I wonder if there's a shop at some point.
I'm getting Wanpaku graffiti vibes out of this.
Yes, it is that very kind of chibi yet horror.
Speaking of shop.
Oh! Oh. I guess that... Oh. I guess I missed my chance. Can I... Nope. Guess I just live my...
Music's pretty good for a budget title.
Yeah, it's... The design in this is pretty nice. So my... Whoops. So my nose is itching a little bit.
Apparently you have a gas meter.
Yep, it's, so occasionally you saw that I pulled out the chainsaws. I think it's if I hit both, yeah, if I hit this, and then I can bring out the chainsaws and do, like, extra damage. And I can turn
You're
it
gonna
off.
want to say that for the ball.
Yep. Oh, you. There we go. That's a design.
Oh.
Let's see. Oh, I can get the death mask. Oh. That is a thing I don't know why you put that behind. Let's do that.
It made me think of the Tube Top music video from Comedy Central. Which is something only I and maybe 2 other people probably remember.
Oops. Did not realize that was a platform. Those gargoyles have a very sculptured ass.
Dummy thick.
I don't like that they jiggle. That is an interesting designed enemy. Whoop, whoop. Okay.
Ah,
That's
fuck you!
kind of rude. God damn it. God. Oh, good. Thanks. Good. I'm glad he knocked me off the path. Okay, here we go.
Burger! Finally get burger.
I see.
You get a... Okay.
It's Wispy Woods, except this is not... I don't think this game controls good enough to do what it's trying to do. Yep. Nope. What's he doing? Combo. Adjust. Oh, good. It's timed things. Let's see. Where do I continue at? It's gonna be at the start of the stage, isn't it? Yep. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you can't get the shop at that point.
Probably like a midpoint.
There we go. I'm gonna try to double
It's like
jump.
you gotta rebuy everything.
Yep. Well, it's as if you didn't do it. It's basically as you started over again. Which also, I noticed that I don't think there's any saving in this. I think you gotta do this all in one sitting. Though I think it might save at the end or something like that. Yeah, I have a feeling that this game wasn't too terribly long. This feels like a very much an arcade-style game. Oh, I see. If I double jump, do that, I fall into the pit and I take damage. You know what the hell that
It's
thing.
a good strategy.
Let's see. Can I? If I double jump, can I hit this thing? Okay, nope. Yeah, this is. I do not like the way you have to fight this boss, because it just feels really not good. Because depth perception in this is a little difficult. This is Splattermaster. A game that only came out in Europe. In Japan.
We were robbed of this.
Do I have to...
Maybe that sign.
Yeah, do I have to... Okay, nope, I didn't have to write it up or anything. Yeah, what the hell is this to do? Oh,
Wait, I guess.
yep. On. There we go. Please just... There we go. Oh. Okay, I kind of think that we kind of get the gist of what this game is. It is a neat game, but also, I'm pretty sure we kind of saw the majority of what it is. So that game was actually like pretty neat. That is definitely better than average. Let me see what are my other belt action games that I have. Let's go to 8 and see what we got. We got Splatterhouse. 1 and 2. Pulirula. Final Fight. Crisis Beat. Let's see. Cat's Commando. I feel like it's better than, like, those. So let's see what we got in 7. That episode 3 game for the Game Boy Advance. Knights of the Round. Comic Zone. I feel like this is in the same vein as those, but let's see what we got in 6. Do we not? Let's see. Do we have any brawlers in 6? We have to have. Alien vs. Predator. Do you seriously not have... Is Alien vs. Predator seriously the only one we have in 6? Yeah. Anyway, I feel like Alien vs. Predator is a better overall game than that. Oh, also Batman Returns, which also I agree, that is a better game. So I think 7's pretty good for Splattermaster. Splattermaster. 389. That was, I would imagine, I'm gonna say that's 2000 and, well, no, that'd have to be, I'd say that's probably, what, 2003, I'd guess? By, X plus of the thingy bob. There we go. There. PS2. That's a brawler. That is key. That weird mix of cute and horror. So I'm gonna say cute overall. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Can't really think of anything in particular. I feel like that's a pretty... It's a solid game, but nothing I really think stands out.
I like the music.
The music was good. Oh, yeah, actually, now that I remember, yeah, the music's pretty good.
And I thought visually it was pretty good for a budget game.
Yeah. Yeah, those budget games, they actually, like, have some pretty solid things. Nonetheless. Just give me one sec. Yeah. I think that's probably good for that one. Yeah, I think that's probably good for Splattermaster. Alright, so next up, we got Krogerschnaps 2A. So this is closing out the pretty darn good. Mad Stalker Full Metal Force. This is an interesting one. This is a Sharp X68K game. Which means we're going into Japanese computers. Actually, did I... Hold on, I need to check, because there's actually a few different versions of this I can use. Did I get the... Did I get this one? Okay, no, I think I decided to use the Sharp X68K version. Okie doke, that works. So, let me get this going. There we go. Whoop, it's a loading. Yeah, we've ranked a few Sharp X68K games before. As you can hear my... Which is great, because every time that it loads, my controller vibrates.
It kind of sounds like Grab Bag.
Yeah, actually, I can hear that. So yes, this is a mech kind of thing. We've actually done a fill-in cafe game before. They did Oscar 120%, which is a fighting game for the Sharp X68. Well, I think we looked at the Turbo CD version. Also, if I remember correctly... No, it wasn't Artemis, it was Athena. Because I was going to say, I think Artemis was the name of the area in Appleseed, but that's Athena. So yes, Mad Stalker, Full Metal 4th is the full name of those. There is a versus mode, which, obviously, I don't know how good that would be.
Kick your ass, Lolo.
I don't even know if we can, like, even if you could, I don't think it would work that well.
I think RSec would have a shit fit.
Yeah. Also gonna play this on easy. CRT mode, that is basically monitor, I believe, monitor settings. But anyway, let's start. Okay, I gotta remember what the controls for this are. Okay, so we got a punch and kick. Okay.
And that mech got eyes.
Yeah.
Meaty robot.
So this has a ton of different like moves you can do. This does have like this. So that is an Hadouken motion, which I believe you do double tap forward. You do that dash move.
Look at the tiny robots.
Yep, the tiny robots are assholes too. Because much like most fighting games, they also, they climb on you, which is annoying. But also, they're really hard to hit. Oh, also if you hit both buttons, you can block. Which is very nice. So this came out for a few different things. The Sharp X68K is like the main, or like the first release. There is a pretty decent version for the TurboGrafx CD. By that I mean PC Engine CD, because this did not come out over here in any form, if I remember correctly. I think there's also a PlayStation or Saturn version of this, which is also pretty decent. Yeah, this is why the tiny enemies suck. They just are really annoying to hit. Oh, shit. God, I wonder how do I throw? I wonder if I can throw too. Oh, it looks like I... Oh, do you have an air throw? Oh. Okay, that is a down punch. Oh, it's not punch and kick. It's light and heavy. Is actually more what it is. Okay.
They did good detailing on the background sections.
Yeah, so yes, that is a staple of a lot of computer developers got really good in the backgrounds.
Like some of the windows in that big skyscraper on the right are actually flickering. Like tiny details. What?
Oh, boss time? Yep. Oh, right. Works on fighting game logic. It is forward heavy, is how you throw. So that fine was a jump. So if I remember correctly, the TurboGrafx version actually, I should say the PC Engine CD version, I think tends to be usually considered the better of the two versions, although I believe it's less visually detailed. And I think there's some things that are missing in it, but the thing with the PC Engine is that there's cutscenes in it. But then again, they're all in Japanese, so I don't know how much benefit we get out of it. Also, and this being very fighting game oriented makes a lot of sense considering that the other game that they're known for is Asuka 120%. Yeah, I kind of actually want to try the PC Engine version at some point, but that's not going to be today. You have missed, let's see, you missed Splattermaster, you missed Tiny Toon Cartoon Workshop. What else do we do? Let's see.
Forgotten.
Little Mermaid. Also, Bob, another thing that you missed is the fact that I'm now doing queue requests. Well, you'll see when we do the thing. I'm now doing queue requests through a channel point redemption. You will see a option that has add stuff.
Should make a
little like a command.
Exclamation mark request.
Yeah. Oh, this. This. Uh-oh.
It's fucking you up.
Yeah. Oh shit.
It's like the dark version of you.
Wow, this is this is rude for a second level boss. This is very much, it's like, you, okay, you know...
Well, you hit him twice.
Yeah. Is that game over? That is game over. Which I figured, you have a pretty big enough health bar. Okay, and you can continue. Oh, Family Soft is the developer, which I believe is also the... one for that. Let's see. Do I go? I think that got to start at the beginning of the stage. Or wait. Oh no! It actually continues at the boss fight. Now the question is does that include is it like unlimited? I wonder. Alright, so I have a feeling that that's going to be a roadblock, so I think that's probably a good place to stop.
Yeah, watching you throw.
Oh, actually, the demo. I wonder if the demo's going to teach us anything, other than that we are. Oh, I wonder if there's move canceling. Other than we're complete scrubs.
I mean, I didn't play this shit.
Fair enough.
Don't you lump me in with your scrubbiness?
So I wonder if they only programmed the logic for the first stage, and it's just trying to run through the maneuvers for the first stage. Anyway, I think that's good for that. So yes, that was Mad Stalker Full Metal Fourth. which is a pretty interesting game. So yeah, the game, like, I like it, although it is obviously a bit too hard for its own good. At least, well, I should say I need to get used to the control, or like the mechanics of it. It's probably more accurate. But that being said, I still think that game's pretty good. It's a game I want to try more of. Which actually, kind of looking at stuff like, you got Gundam Wing, you got Soul Blade. I feel like this is a 6 game. Like, it's really cool, but it has some issues. So, yeah, I think that's good for that. Sex, Mad Stalker, Full Metal Worth, 389. I think that was 93. Family Soft. For the X68K, or not Xbox 360. Not X69K, although that could be another name for it. Subgenre, that is a... I'm not going to put, that's a kind of a brawler. And that is... I actually would say that's more anime than sci-fi. Because that's very much a very anime style of thing. So yeah. Let's see. The art in that game is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think the gameplay, it's another light bulb game. Because I like what it's going for, although I feel like it could use a training mode, or or like a more detailed explanation that's not just hidden in the manual.
Needs a lab.
Yeah. Other than that, I think that's probably pretty good. Actually, difficulty, that boss is pretty difficult, so I bet you that's probably not going to be just the only hard boss. So yeah, I think that's good for Mad Stalker, Full Metal Worth. So, there's that down. So let's go to the board again, and let's see. Coolio requested 23A, which is in the Potpourri. I believe that's Potpourri B. 23A. 86. Alright, so 23A. Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning for the Game Boy Advance. This is an interesting case. This was a game requested by Bobinator. So this is technically a sequel to the Spyro games, although it is it's a reboot. I think it's actually the second reboot of this, and specifically one, the Game Boy Advance one. So, yeah.
I thought the Legend series was more like teen Spyro, whereas the originals were kid Spyro.
That sounds about right.
You better just get this one out of the way.
Yeah, and this was, I know you put that as short because there's not a whole lot.
You sound so enthused, Bob.
You know it's not a good game when I'm not excited for it, even though I picked it.
Slid in here like, oh god.
So I believe the reasoning behind this is because we do this one to do the sequel to this, which is apparently better. Man,
that sounds terrible.
That tin, you could can shit with that tin. Also, I think this has been long enough.
I see what you did there, and that was good.
It sounds like it's coming out of a radio or something.
Yes.
Like 50s or something.
All right, let's Oh, right, I did technically start a new game to test this out. In the Year of the Dragon, let's see. Okay. Man.
Unfortunately, I don't think Elijah Wood is in this game.
I don't think he is either. Why do they look like that?
I forget if it was this one where Sparks is voiced by Wayne Brady, or if it was another one of these
I
games.
don't like how Sparks looks. I really, really don't.
I'm gonna say Spyro gives me an uncomfortable vibe. I'm not gonna get into why, but he really does.
Wow. Okay, so it's... Thanks. I see.
So the thing about the sequel to this game is it's made by entirely different people, so it actually has a chance to be good.
Wait, what did that say? Double jump. Okay, that's...
Coolio, in one of these games, the console version, Sparks is voiced by Wayne Brady. That
Okay.
Wayne Brady. I think it's David Spade that voices in the console version of this one.
I hope that it's Wayne Brady and it's not.
They got a whole bunch of celebrities in this game for some reason.
David Spade.
It was David Spade. Jesus Christ. This
It's
feels.
not that bad.
Who?
David Spade's not that bad. He's not Jamie Kennedy.
And you can do worse, but also you can do better. It's no Dana Gould.
Okay, but he was Cusco.
He was Cusco, but also he was Joe Dirt.
Okay, that's fair. It did have Kid Rock in it. That is a huge point against him. I'm sorry.
I mean, also you could do worse. It could be Tom Green.
Okay, but you could do worse than that and be Pauly Shore.
I don't know which
Rob
one's that.
Reiner. Rob Reiner.
Or Rob Schneider. You mean
Rob Schneider, yeah.
Rob Reiner would be weird as anything.
Rob Schneider.
Also, I need to turn that down. I cannot. I cannot.
Yeah, Rob Schneider, when you do the Fork in the Tail, Lolo.
A what?
It's an FMV game he was in.
Oh right, yes,
God,
yes.
I
Isn't he
do
like the
not
main
wanna do an
character?
I don't want to do an FMP game. Fucking
Remember,
Rob Schneider.
FMV stands for Funny with My Voice.
Also, I mean, speaking of FMV games with celebrity, actually, I think someone requested a theme that was games about celebrities, and I wonder if I can just get away with just let's play Ripper for a thing and then never touch it again.
But you're gonna have to mute the beginning.
Oh right, yes I will, don't I?
Yeah,
You're also
because
gonna
it's
have to do
got
that
fucking
puzzle about the
Tokyo
coffee
Reaper.
cup.
What was
Right,
that?
yeah.
Oh
You're gonna have
what?
to do that puzzle with the coffee cup, and no one likes that puzzle.
The coffee cup puzzle, but also the song comes back again at the end of it. Obviously, you're not gonna get that far, but
I was gonna say, is it the same reason I'm gonna have to mute Prey?
yeah, because
play it?
one, it uses "Don't Fear the Reaper" as its theme song, but it also uses "Don't Fear the Reaper" as a puzzle. Seasons don't fear the Reaper, nor do the wind, the summer, the rain, and you have to put cards together in that order, based on the lyrics.
This game feels like a mobile game.
You know, you're not wrong.
This feels like a J2ME game.
Looks like a J2ME game. Rob Schneider sucks.
I'm trying to remember if he was the one that, like, it actually came out recently that he did something that's actually, like, he was doing something good. But I'm pretty sure that actually was not the case.
I don't think so.
It's not like Guy Fieri where everyone makes fun of him, but then it's actually like he's actually doing a lot of good work.
No, Guy Fieri is fantastic, and I actually feel bad for ever like hating on him because he's pretty cool.
Like, if I remember correctly, I believe there was a lot of rumors that like the places that like he visited ended up not like he kind of treated them like crap. I think that actually came out that actually wasn't the case.
No, Schneider's an anti-vax or so.
Oh, that's okay. That's not what I was thinking of, but also that is not helping his case at all.
No, he's already Rob Schneider, and then just that adds an extra layer.
Whack. Oh. Do we really need... Okay, I guess we're just doing... Oh, this is not how you're supposed to do this.
And there's a time limit, ew.
Of course, it's a... Can't be a Spyro game without stupid minigames.
This is very soulless.
This also just controls like crap. This is... It's bad.
It's so bland. It's bland and empty.
Do you only have that one attack?
I think... I have that, but like I have this, but the other way is just so much more like reliable.
Wait, are the enemies even hitting back?
Nope. Because I'm stun locking them.
You know what word actually I feel describes this very well? Listless.
Yeah.
I don't get to use that word very often, but I absolutely believe that this is a listless game.
I'm fine with just calling it bad.
Yeah.
Like
I
it
don't want
says,
to state why it's bad.
yes, but also like this is just making me want to play that Totally Spies game more because that at least was competent.
Somebody should re-rank that, or ask for a re-rank on that.
The Totally Spies game.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't think it was that interesting, but... Or actually, rather, that Episode 3 game, which is actually really good.
I'm glad you like that.
I could swear there were two other advanced games, Fire and Ice. Season of Fire and
Yes.
Season of Ice.
Yes.
I had Season of Ice. It's a good level.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when everyone had to do the 2 releases.
Thank you, Pokemon.
Yep.
Just imagine a Spyro game, except it's really empty and it's hard to tell where you're going because everything's isometric and looks the same.
I was gonna say, if you did, before you said isometric, I thought you were gonna say, oh, you're saying Spyro 3.
Well, it's
y'all
like
do
Spyro
not
3, but bad, basically.
Y'all don't like Spyro 3, huh?
I mean,
I don't like that Hunter gets laid.
that's
Look.
a fair point.
Some people just fuck with them.
I don't want them to.
Not Hunter, though. He didn't deserve it.
Not to, like, try to direct you, but I do have to say it. I'm fucking hating this.
Yes. I am fine with... Yes. I'm just kind of like, maybe the end, maybe something will happen shortly. Like, this stuff's gone on for way too long.
This is
By
like
the
a
way-
level of bored I haven't been in a while.
By
Yeah,
the way, Hunter is actually in these games. Do you want to see what he looks like in these games?
sure.
There you go. I'll put it in my...
Okay, put it, hold on, I'll put it here. Put it in Mike Wheeler HUD and then I'll...
Thank you, bots.
Okay.
It doesn't look like the same art from this
This
game.
deviant ass douchebag.
You hate Hunter, huh?
That is just a not great look. But actually, you know what actually it reminds me of? It reminds me of like the later Sonic comics, where they try and make Antoine like a cool character. Oh, I can level up, I see.
By the way, I don't mean to pressure you, but I think you get the idea.
I just want, it's like,
You want to see the end of the level.
Yeah, let's at least see an end of a level.
Can you just, like, run past everything?
Yeah, let's...
Just avoid everybody.
Probably. I take it those are checkpoints. Gotcha. The hell is that? Hold... Oh.
Cat?
I think it's a baboon.
There's a wolf. This music sucks. Like, there's this big fight right here, and it's the same boring-ass track. Wait, Sparks has parents?
I guess.
Why are all the dragonflies so buff?
I don't know. You know what actually reminds it? It reminds me. It was like there's one of those things that were going around where it was like, oh, what is the most popular movie on your birthday when you turn 10? And I looked it up. It was the movie Ants, and I felt bad.
I do
like
get an
Ants.
Ants vibe from this.
What did you say the meme was?
It was what was the top grossing or top movie in the box office the day that you were, or the day you turned 10? You were... Sparrow, are you dumb?
Oh! Mine is Die Hard with a Vengeance.
I mean, that's better than Ants. I'm not that babby. Oh my god, is this thing not over? Okay, we're done. We're done.
This sucks. This absolutely sucks in every possible way.
Let me see. Trying to find what movies come to my birthday. Give me a second.
See, I'm surprised.
Top grossing movie in year.
I'm surprised it wasn't something Halloween related, because considering I'm October 29th, so I'm right around Halloween. Oh, I need to have that not play in the background. Okay, there we go.
Second place is Toy Story.
That's not bad.
Hey, Apollo 13 is in third and GoldenEye is fourth.
That is a good set of movies.
I had a good 10th year.
you know.
Too bad the rest fucking sucked, but that year was good.
Basic Instinct for me. That was a 20.
Huh.
Close enough.
Okay.
Ooh.
The movie that ruined a bunch of VCRs.
Anyway.
Yeah, this game sucks.
I don't feel like it's 21. It's
too
boring to be like actively awful.
I think it's 20.
2019, something like that. 20.
Let's see. Blaster Master 2 is at 20, and I feel like that gives me a lot of Blaster Master 2 vibes. Also, Contra Legacy of War.
I see Zool at 19. I could work with that.
I actually feel Zool's a better game than that, though.
Okay. Alright, I guess I can work with 20.
Yeah, let's just go 20. Legend of Spyro. Is it the New Beginning? 384. That was 2006, and I believe it was Chrome Studios, I think I saw.
Let me look that up.
For the GBA, it was an action game. It is a cute game, I think? Question mark? Actually, no. That's the game that I think Cinder spawns in. This is a furry game.
Big Ant Studios, apparently, for this version.
Okay.
And yeah, I remember people being really into Cinder when this game was new, for obvious reasons.
Yes. Let's see. Music was bad. The charm, I do not like the art style. Same with that and charm.
Gameplay was pretty miserable.
The gameplay is miserable. Clear and Present Danger is actually a pretty decent movie.
A military movie?
It is. It's a Tom Clancy movie.
Oh, nah.
I
don't want to give it too much credit.
It has Willem Dafoe in it.
So. Yeah, but Tom Clancy.
It is, but yes. Also, it's so the Clear and Present Danger I kind of like because it's the novel that Ding Chavez debuts in, and that's where Rainbow Six came from.
Yeah. Coolio got Brady Bunch movie.
I'm gonna do everything else for Nate. Brady Bunch movie. God, I kind of want to watch that movie because I didn't realize at first that movie's actually like a parody. I thought it was actually just a Brady Bunch movie, but apparently that is actually meant to be like a satire, or maybe not a satire, but it's something humorous. But yeah. Anyway, I think that's good
Yeah,
for
video game.
that.
No video game for Brady Bunch.
At least means you can put the good one on the long game list now.
Yep. Alright, let's see. Doop.
Is it too late to put anything on the queue?
You can go ahead. Also, I accidentally closed out 9A, which I think was the next one.
So, Bob, the thing with this new queue version is, like, even if the show ends, it's still in his queue.
Yeah.
It's channel points.
Because they don't go away until I intentionally do it, so you can just go ahead and fill that out. I am probably going to put limits, though, on how many people individually can do in a short amount of time. But that's about it. So, go for it.
How many bucks are we allowed to claim at a time?
I would say just don't overdo it. Because I know it's $250 at a time, and you probably have more than that. Just don't... I would say just do 2 in a row, at most.
Let a number of people go ahead of you
All right,
and then do
I'm just
it.
taking these two and I'm done.
Alright. Okay, so... 6A, I forgot who did it, but they actually... I think actually that was... No, it wasn't 6A. No, wait, actually, I just realized I need to reject access because someone else did 6A before you. So...
Son of a bitch.
There you go. There's your points back.
Thank you.
Okay, so 6A. Early episode blues. So these are stuff that I did during Ranking of Shmups and very early Retro Rank Rhapsody. But if I remember correctly, I believe that this actually is... Yeah, this is Ranking of Shmups. This was episode 1 of Ranking of Shmups. This was 2017, I think, when we looked at this game last. Trick Trap 1771 is a Konami arcade game that did not get a whole lot of play, known in Japan as Labyrinth Runner. This is actually one we should probably be able to see the entirety of it. If I remember what the name of it... There it is. Pretty sure this is it. Yep. So. Hold on. Trick Trap 1771. So this is a top-down shooter. Where you control a dude. And has a kind of similar thing to Gradius, except it's you can freely select. Let's go ahead and start, and we can kind of see what this is about.
Menacing. Ah! Papaya!
Yep.
I thought he was
Okay.
calling out for the fruit.
I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, it is a Konami game that did not get any play. Like, I don't think this got home ported to anything. This was arcade only.
Take a look. apparently is an NES port of it.
So I think that they were planning on doing that game that never came out.
Oh, it's Dream Fiction Wiki. I need to be more careful.
Yeah, I hate that that site exists.
Fucking stupid.
It's like one of the wikis they make up like fake episodes of Street Sharpers and things like that.
I mean, that's essentially what it is, except for it's just for video games.
The princess of Vegetaria named Papaya has been kidnapped by the devil. Now it's up to the prince to rescue her.
I think it's just fiction. I don't know why you do it.
Yeah, we've gotten duped by that a couple of times. It's got kind of a gauntlet look to it.
It does have a gauntlet look to it. Oh.
Except Gauntlet didn't have any big sprites, they were all small.
Yeah, there we go. And it is one, basically, it's one hit and you're dead. Which is, I kind of wish this had the thing where you could hold down a button and, like, do a direction, but... See, also...
no strafing.
Yeah.
Oh, ew, it does that kind of tracking, I hate
Yeah, so this boss is actually, like, one of the harder bosses in the entire game. This is usually where my runs end. But if you can kind of cheese it by doing that. There we go. So I haven't shown off the laser, but laser is basically... It's a shot that bounces off walls. Whoop.
My favorite ship, the Vic Boater.
Yeah, the laser is actually really good for this one. Also, the lightning bolt thing I just picked up is a bomb. But you only get really limited amounts of it.
I see you have 3 swords. Or Sean Connery would say S words.
Oh, those are my lives.
Gotcha.
Whoop.
Free time.
Yep.
I like that it's sort of like high fantasy, and then they're like, hey, here's a truck.
Yeah. Well, truck in the description of it's a minecart. Oh, which is also great because you have to. It's one of those where you have to have super fast reflexes.
But foresight is also required.
Yeah, this part is not great.
Oh, it's so good. We put another section of it. Cool.
Yep.
I wonder why it says free time at the top.
So it's basically so that there's no timer. It's just that's how they didn't just take off the timer. They just say, oh, it's free time, I guess. There we go.
I can kind of see why no one talks about this game.
It's like it's not bad, but it's just kind of there. Also, I don't know why that sound effect was super loud.
There's some clear missteps.
Yeah, it was just back in that era where Konami was just kind of throwing shit at the wall and just hoping it stuck. City Bomber was another game that was like that, where it's just a game that they didn't really do anything outside of arcade. Which is a shame, because City Bomber's a really cool game. Same with like Kid and Caboodle. What's this weird ass thing? Oh right, you have to hit the ass. Damn it. There we go, and if I remember correct... Oh, wait. It's a great, because it drops 2 bombs that I can't pick up. So this is the final boss, right here.
Already? That's a
Yeah, this is not a long game.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why this is a game nobody really talked about. Can't hit it from the top.
You can, but it's a lot easier to just mash bomb from the bottom.
You found Princess Tomato. But you didn't fight the devil, you fought a brain.
Well, the devil turned out to be a brain.
Can't believe the devil was the spider mastermind all along. Ah yes, the long journey known as marriage.
And you, Heart. Oh. I thought there was a loop too. Oh, hold on. Oop. Oop. Tricked me. There we go. So yeah, I guess there's not even a loop. Okay. Alright, so yeah, there is Trick Trap 1771, also known as a Labyrinth Runner. That was a game. Oh, that's also loud. So, I believe we have that at 11. Yes, we do. Because yes, 0, episode 1 of there. So now we can update this 389. All right, where are we gonna put this? Because we have it at 11.
I mean, it does deserve some props for having some interesting visuals, but like the overall package, like I was just reading articles instead. Like I just was bored.
Yeah.
But as always, when I comment on one of these games, the caveat is I don't personally care much for shmups. So take my opinion with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I will also say that yeah, I think it does some neat things, but yeah, it is a very okay game. The thing when we originally looked at it is I did not have rewind at that point, so we were just, playing it like normal. That being said, so now we actually saw the whole game. I kind of feel like, yeah, 12, 13, 14. What are we on 12? Because I'm kind of thinking 12. Yeah, stuff like Sidearms, Robo Lust, R-Type 1. Yeah, I feel like this is a 12 game. So I'll just bump that down there. I did think the music was good. It is very difficult. That being said, I do like some of the things in gameplay, but I think that it's not exactly super executed well. And I think that's probably good for Trick Trap 1771. So there, I think that's probably good for that. So, next up is 23B. Tyrion requested this one. If this is the one I think it is. Yeah, this one's gonna be either very short or I kind of put this in here as like, okay, this seems like an interesting game, but the problem is that I don't. This is a very complicated game, so to speak. So let me make sure. Here it is. Do I have to do it like this? I think I have to do it like this. Oh, where are you? There you are. So let me load this up real quick. Okay, hopefully it does give me this menu if I remember correctly. Okay, it gives you a menu. Oh, I didn't want to load it yet. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it later. So yeah, this is Magic Carpet. Which is a game by Bullfrog for the PC.
Bullfrog was good.
And, okay, what is this menu that's giving me? I'm going to imagine that is an expansion pack, so we're not going to do that quite yet. What we are going to do is take this out of full screen mode. Oh, that is a menu the size of... Okay, please tell me you get bigger. I don't think you get bigger. I might have to manually fix this. Okay. So, ignore that. So, let me do this. It's going to be Magic Carpet. Also, I'm going to give people warning now. If you are susceptible to motion sickness... Especially since I'm not super good at flying this. Okay, can I make this window bigger?
I mean, I ate 4 slices of large pizza, so...
Okay, I cannot make the window bigger. Great.
It'd be your fault if I no longer have them.
God damn it, where's my mouse? Okay, I'm gonna let's drag it a little closer to me. Okay, so we're gonna leave. I think that is correct. Yeah, so I want mouse and keyboard. And I think I have to click this. So more
Rest in peace.
if Worlds is not on GOG is the thing. Taste the MIDI.
In its infancy, the whole of creation glimmered against the dark void. But one place in the universe outshone all others, for it glowed brilliantly with a magical energy known as mana. The world was eventually discovered, and the first pioneers settled the land. The people dedicated their lives to separating mana from nature in order to command its powers. However, after centuries of fruitfulness, the land was rendered barren by man's insatiable greed. Fierce competition between wizards degenerated into war, great creatures being summoned to do their creators' bidding in the ensuing.
Yep.
No! I need to know the story.
Okay, so here is the menu. This is how it's supposed to look, by the way.
Okay.
That wonderful era of good PC game where it's like, this menu doesn't make sense. I think if I do this, enter our name. Lolo. Okay. So I believe if I click here, I will go into the main world. I think it's loading. So this is Magic Carpet. It is a first-person RTS, I think? Where are my controls? Okay, here we go. What's also great about this is that there are no way, as far as I could tell, there is no way to bind your controls. So I'm controlling this with the mouse and also the arrow keys. There is no way to uninvert the controls, which is annoying. So if I remember correctly, okay, F1 sound, that's music. Nope, don't want to go normal. Slow down.
Apparently this is on Origin and GOG.
Yes, I'm using the GOG version. God damn it. Oh, this controls like ass. I don't think that's doing anything. How do I select spells? I don't think I have any other spells.
Oh, you know what?
Actually, can I do this? What's that?
There's a game that I got in on the early access of that's very kind of similar to this, called Arcane Worlds. It's a flying sim, and the whole point is you go to an area to build a castle, and then you fill the castle with energy, and then you leave that area for another area.
Okay, let me see if I can go back to this first island if I think it was this way. I really hate that you cannot invert the controls.
This game scored really well on release.
Yeah, because I mean, for the time, this was like super innovative. This was like '93, if I remember correctly. Okay, I don't think that's where I want to go. I feel like it is a crime for a kind of game like this that you cannot rebind the controls, because the Descent allowed you to rebind the controls.
Descent was really good.
Descent is really good. I need to do more of those, actually, now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is this the first island? Okay, that's something. Fly to this and take it. There we go. Like, the water looks nice.
Is this Magic Carpet 1 or 2?
This is one. Okay, let's go. God.
I remember wanting to like this when I actually did a podcast for it, but the problem is it feels like every level is about the same. It just gets a little bit harder. And also sometimes it's really hard to actually make it what feels like actual progress.
Oh right, it's not Wazda. Like, am I supposed to like shoot these things?
Shoot the tents.
Oh, here we go. I have done something to these tents. Okay, I now have another spell. Okay. Oh, that made a tower appear?
That's your castle.
Oh. Why is it making noises like that?
Oh man, did I miss a Marath game?
No.
There it is.
God damn it, this controls like ass. Oh, I see. Well, I lit things on fire. And then they became orbs? Can I collect the orbs? God, that's so disorienting. You know, it probably doesn't help the fact that I don't actually know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Generally, I think the idea is you're supposed to find your enemy's castle and destroy it, while gathering up the mana you've been collecting to actually stuff it into your castle and make it bigger.
Okay. Okay, so... Why is this area blinking?
Yeah, this is basically one of those games that doesn't make a lot of sense without a manual, because that actually has like the basic gameplay loop written in it and all.
I'd imagine. I downloaded the thing, but oh, there's a lot of things here. Yeah, you can definitely feel why you'd want to play this with a HOTAS or something like that. And there's my castle again. Okay, that's this again. Oh. Okay, so you torch the worms. Now, I wonder if I can go fly out and go to that island that had the castle. Do I destroy that castle?
You should be able to if you're strong enough, I think. The problem is, when I played this, there was a point in the castle it started rebuilding itself faster than I could take it out, and it was just this constant stalemate, and that just wasn't any fun.
I would imagine. Unless there's something here. Okay, those are the orbs. Can I... Okay, I think I found where the thing loops. I think here it is. Do I just click until it's dead?
I think so. You can see the texture showing it changing. That's taking damage.
Oh, what? Ah. Wait. Oh, I think that's mine now? Okay, so this is new. Oh. Okay. Well, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I think you literally just have to circle straight from that enemy castle and just keep shooting it until all the walls break. It's my best guess when I played this.
Oop. Where's the map? Some blinking over here. I just... It's something. Okay. Like, it's like, I don't know why can I, what can I do for this screen? Hunt down all the monsters, but I thought I did. Is there like a bird or something that's like floating around still that's just not... It does not let me progress, so I must not have killed everything. This looks like here, unless there's just like an enemy here that I'm just haven't killed. Well, here, oh, that's something.
You might try upgrading your castle. You have enough mana to do that.
How do I do that?
You go up to it and you pick that spell on the right.
The one that's the castle?
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't work, you don't have enough mana.
Oop. Okay, let's see. Trying to look for little black dots. That might be the enemy. I wonder if I just have to guide the little ships, because I take it the little thingies that...
Yeah, the balloons pick up mana and bring it back to your castle. That's how you actually collect it.
Yeah, and I see that they're going over here, so I wonder if they just weren't... Yeah, because these things are now going... Yep, okay. Oh, world restored.
Congratulations, Master Wizard. The world is restored to equilibrium.
Okay. There.
Yeah, like I said, the problem is this game don't really explain anything to you very well without the manual. So it's basically a PC game.
Yeah. Now that I get the loop of it, I feel like this is... okay, it feels like it makes a little bit more sense. Let's see if I can try this a little bit. Oh, I have dual wielding now. There we go. Okay, so there's a mana source.
I've been quiet on this. It's just not a game where
Yeah,
not a lot
it's-
happens for a little while.
Yeah, yeah, it's a definitely good to see that. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh no, it's a space error. Well, that was much faster.
Congratulations, Master Wizard. The world is restored to equilibrium.
I don't remember this game getting super difficult until it actually starts introducing AI opponents, because they will just refuse to die.
Yeah, I think we've seen enough of this. Like, it's a neat game, but it's definitely old. Alright, there we go. Let's close out of that. Which I forgot to save. Oh well. Okay, so... if that also definitely... definitely in time for a refill. And yeah, so let's go ahead and rank those. So Magic Carpet, I don't feel like... I feel like it is very slightly above average. Like, I was kind of thinking in the 10 range.
I feel like the further you get, the less you would feel that way, but that's just me. Because it definitely get a lot different, except just getting more difficult as you go. There's like 50 levels of this, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Jesus.
So, you know, keep that in mind. If it were me, I'm thinking more like maybe 12 or 13.
Alright, that probably sounds a little bit better.
I guess let's start with 12 and see what you got there.
Yeah, that's what I was looking. Let's go... a... Do I have... Oh, I probably don't have any FPS here. But just stuff like Joust and Gradius.
I saw the Horde. This game does give me that kind of vibe. Like, kind of has an interesting concept, but it's a little bit too
Yes,
complicated for its own good.
actually, yes. I feel like that is a good spot for it. Just trying to think what else. Let me just look at 13, just see what we got. Joe the Jungle. I feel like this is better than Joe the Jungle. And like Night Trap. I think 12 is pretty good for that. It's right next to Top Gun for the NES.
Alright, works for me.
Alright. Magic Carpet. 389. Did we say 1993? I think. And that isn't... I don't know. I'm going to call that a high concept because I don't actually know what to call it. And that is very much high fantasy. Also, let's see. Motion sickness definitely could be an issue with that. Again, we've given it a lot, but I think the light bulb is definitely something to put. Also, I can't really think of anything else to put for it. Actually, do I have a actually, yes. Pretzel. I think the controls by default are not good. So yeah, I think that's good for that. Yeah. I think that's good for that. I had a pretty good selection of games. Some not so great. So yeah. I think that is a good place to actually stop tonight to make sure that I can get enough rest for tomorrow's marathon. So with that, I think that'll do. And let's talk about what we're actually doing tomorrow. So, thank you all for watching. You can go to my personal Twitter at @LodaPuzzlo. There is a Discord in which there's actually a couple polls, and including one that's looking for some feedback on kind of the stream layout. There is a you can also just get out the community and all that. It is a Discord channel after all. There's also Patreon. $25 tiers helps with hosting costs and various other things. Twitch.tv/LodaPuzzle if you're watching this on like a VOD on YouTube, or you can watch these live. Fridays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It says at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, unless there's a marathon in which it's noon Eastern time. Noon Eastern Time. And Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. There's also a YouTube, which you can find these episodes uploaded Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 8 a.m. Eastern. This one will go up on Monday. There's also the radio, which has the YouTube and the podcast channel has 2 exclusive shows, Media Delta and Hazeltown Story. Those go up Thursdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. So tomorrow, we are doing, as I mentioned, a marathon. Because you all donated to the relief drive, we are doing a episode in which we are going through as many of the Jackbox party packs as we can. Because technically those are kind of linked to retro because you don't know Jack is involved with that. So, with that, who should I raid? Let me go check to see who in my team is going at the moment. That sounds valid. You. I don't know what that game is. I've never heard of it. Let's see. I'm gonna send you all over to Zane. I think that's how you pronounce that. Who is playing? Actually, I need to check to see what is your actual. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna do this. Watch stream. Here, okay, you're muted. Oh, actually, maybe not because big old thing that's saying stream ending. I'll find someone eventually. What is this? This looks cute. It looks Pokemon-ish. So I'm gonna send you all over to Screaming Doggo. Who
Thanks
is...
for stream, Lolo.
Yep. Who is doing... You know what? God damn it. You know what? I'm just gonna manually type it. Screaming Doggo. Who is a member of my team. So, they're playing something called Nexamon Extraction... Or Extinction, which looks to be a Pokemon thingy or other. So, have a good night, and or whatever time it is when you're watching. So, later.